I'll accept that unbiased opinion. Would you really do that if it didn't say applause up there? But not with so much feeling, huh? Thank you. You sound in a good mood. We've got a good show tonight. This is November '83. The Olympics start when?
July.
In July here in Los Angeles. Have you noticed already the town is getting ready for it? People are renting their houses. Today, on Sunset Boulevard, I saw a girl holding up a sign. Said, unofficial hostess of the 1984 Olympics. Everybody's cashing in. Oh, boy, you look natty tonight.
You like that?
I like that.
Dressed for action, aren't we, guys?
You can probably get those spots off of there with a little remover. It'll be all right. As you know, around the country, I guess in many, this is election day, is it not? Local elections?
Yes.
In Los Angeles, I'll be honest with you, we have probably some of the silliest propositions on the ballot I have ever seen. Only in Southern California. For example, Proposition 21 makes it illegal in the city of Beverly Hills to dress a rooster in a members-only jacket. Proposition G would makes it a misdemeanor to do a flash dance in a Christian Science reading room. Are you familiar with Proposition XY?
No.
It will make it illegal to have a salad bar in a mortuary. I know. I agree. I voted against that. Proposition 41 is very popular and I think is going to pass. It makes it legal to shoot the person in front of you at the supermarket line if they're paying by check. Oh, what's happening today? The president and the first lady, I guess, with about 150 Secret Service men. Did you read that? Are off on a trip to Japan. And Reagan's plan, as I understand it, to visit Japanese cities destroyed by the Americans. And then to reciprocate, the Japanese leaders plan to visit Detroit. I'm sure you must have read this in the paper, saw it on television. The president and the Secret Service had all their socks inspected for holes. Because, as you know, it is in Japan, the culture says, the protocol is you remove your shoes before entering Japanese homes. And they actually wanted the Secret Service and everybody to have no holes in their socks. Not only that, but I understand the president's Gucci loafers were fitted with designer odor eaters. The president knew that it is the custom to remove one's shoes in Japan, so before he left, he asked for a pair of loafers, and they sent him in 2 congressmen. That's too easy, wasn't it? Yeah, we do an easy joke occasionally. Before leaving for Japan, would you believe that Nancy sat up all night donning Ronnie's socks? And if you believe that, you believe that I will be a contestant on the Newlywed Game. Oh, me. I'm just enjoying that one myself. Speaking of the Reagans, did you see the Speaker of the House, Tip O'Neill, apologized to Nancy Reagan, although he did not apologize to the president. I'll tell you what he did. He sent a letter to Nancy Reagan because Tip O'Neill had made some remarks about the First Lady in the New York Times. And for example, I think he said that if Ronald Reagan would quit tomorrow, Nancy would be Queen of Beverly Hills. And that's a terrible thing to say about Nancy because Queen of Beverly Hills, that's a demotion. And that's not a joke, is it? But did you read what he said about the president? And he did not apologize. He said that the president only works 3.5 hours a day. According to Tip O'Neill, he said it's sinful that he's president. And Reagan said he would answer that first thing tomorrow at 11 in the morning. As you probably know, if you read the papers here Friday, we had a lot of aerial spraying for the Mexican fruit fly. And today, apparently, the fruit flies are fine, but all the parakeets are dead. Did you notice by the papers that the Soviet leader, Yuri Andropov, failed to show up at the Revolution Day parade in Red Square? There have been rumors for months that he is very, very ill. And the official word given out by the leaders of the Kremlin was Mr. Andropov is, quote, out with a cold. Of course, the Kremlin is still saying that Khrushchev isn't dead, that he's on leave because of hemorrhoids. Poor Yasser Arafat is not having a good couple of days here. He is surrounded by artillery and apparently is running for his life. Now, I don't know Mr. Arafat, but it seems to me when you're under heavy artillery fire, you don't wear a checkered flag on your head. I mean, if you're going to start the Indianapolis 500, that's great. You know. Here's the weird news item of the day, and so help me, it is true. You're all familiar with the fast food franchises all over the country, right? There may be soon, well, in fact, I guess they're started already, the first franchise chain of funeral homes. It was in the paper today. They're trying to lower the cost of funerals, and they're going to have franchise funeral. They're being criticized already. They're calling them McDonald's of mortuaries. It's a different kind of a funeral home. It's called Stiff in the Box. And you drive up and you mourn into the plastic widow's face. It's weird. Yeah. I understand they bury your loved one in a McCoffin. Oh, it's a 6-foot styrofoam box with a tuck-in flap. And I understand they may have John Houseman doing the commercials. Houseman is going to say, "We dispose of your loved ones the old-fashioned way. We double bag them and put them on the curb." Anyway, I don't know if it... Anyway, all good. You're in a good mood tonight. We have a fascinating show. We have Miss Barbara Walters with us tonight, which should be very fascinating. I've been wanting to interview Barbara for a long time. After watching her interview all the people, I've got some interesting questions for Barbara. And one of the brightest talents in our business, Mr. David Steinberg, is here. And the band has had a medley for some time.
About 6 weeks.
They've had it for a good 6 weeks, and it's, I think, ready to go tonight, right?
Well, we're thinking about it. Well, as a matter of fact, we came in Saturday especially and rehearsed it.
Well, then what you're saying is you'd like to get it on tonight. And
in more ways than one.
What the hey? Okay, we're going to get it in tonight. If, of course, we have. Oh, come on. What? Oh, come on. Okay, let's, I didn't know what was going on here. Stay where you are. We'll be back. You ought to be. Thank you, Doc. We have Miss Barbara Walters, David Steinberg, and a super audience tonight.
Great.
What was this called when you used to do that with the sticks?
Pick up sticks?
Was that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
They had fancy names later on when they tried to make it into a
Did
more
you ever play
glamorous
that when you were a
game.
kid?
Certainly.
Okay. What do you have there?
I have it's some new old business. All right? That's a night show. Would like to congratulate our affiliate. It's good with drumming. Don't do that. Go ahead.
Oh, excuse me.
A little rhythm, go ahead. The Tonight Show would like to congratulate our affiliate in Columbia, South Carolina, WIS-TV, on the occasion of their 30th anniversary. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
WIS-TV.
You know, I was looking at the, we get a report every month on the show, the letters we get for fan mail, ideas, suggestions, guests, etc., whom people like, whom they don't like, favorable, unfavorable. And there's a category that says band music. Really?
Yes.
And it said for, and it said against not allowing the band to play.
Oh.
There were some people who
Upset with you?
were upset with me.
How many people wrote in to want to hear us?
Well, how many guys are in the band? I recognize some of the handwriting.
Yeah.
But we have, no, he's got a great
It's not
number
your
of fans.
fault.
We
Your
should get
show
it in
gets-
tonight.
Tonight,
No,
maybe.
we're going to get it in.
This crowd is
I want to
wild.
show you a picture. I think I've seen this before. Do you remember ever seeing a picture of Horace Greeley? All right. Somebody thinks there's a resemblance to me. And Harry of our makeup department got me a wig. I'm going to show you an actual picture. A wig. It's not a wig. It's a beard, isn't it? I don't know whether you can see that closely. Now, look at that. Is there any resemblance at all?
Yes.
Now, that is a picture of...
Try the beard. Try the. I'll hold the picture. I'll hold the picture and you try the beard.
Now,
all right?
maybe with the...
Not much of a beard, but I guess that's what he had.
I think I have it on backwards. There. Nothing? Doesn't do it, huh? Okay.
Maybe you need the hat.
He was the famous journalist, reformer, I guess, who said, "Go west,
Go west,
young man. Go west.
Go west.
I've been mistaken for him before.
Really? When?
I said, "Go west, young woman. Go west. Out to the Pacific Coast
Yes.
Highway, hang a right. Right up to Malibu, and it's my house is one of the big vibrating chimney." I didn't say that, no. Yesterday, somebody sent me this from the Toronto Star. Police seek slap-happy man from Canada. All right, maybe you've run into this. Maybe you've run into this man. Halton police are trying to get to the bottom of the case of a man who wears purple leotards and has been asking teenage girls in Oakville to spank him as part of a bogus initiation rite. Police say the man, described in his early 20s, medium height, clean-shaven and shy, poses as a pledge to a fraternity rite. And he says he stops young girls and asks them to, and the girls, I guess, you know, they bends over and they give him a couple of whaps on the bun. Do you believe that? Remember when I asked the band one night, I said, Doc is doing a gig, or the musicians are doing a gig someplace? And I asked, did you guys know where that came from?
No.
Nobody knew. Well, somebody sent me a letter. Mary Voland from the Pomona Public Library in Pomona, California. Do you happen to know where it comes from?
No.
It's from G-I-G-U-E. How would you pronounce it? Gig? Gig? A lively dance form of Italian origin. And then U.B. Blake says it's been in... U.B., who used to be on the show, who just passed away at the age of 100 last year, said that it was widely in use since 1920. Though it should be noted for the non-jazz job, the term is applied only to a non-jazzman. For the jazzman, the non-jazz is a haim or a day gig. Does that mean anything to you?
Just means
What?
we're not going to play the number tonight.
Man is sulking about that number. Anyway, apparently it's some derivation or modernization of gig or something like that.
Gig.
And it got shortened to gig. All right. What else do we have here? I'm writing to you on... I'm writing to you in high hopes that maybe you can help me out. Terry, can't say the last name, Terry Van Ryan. And he says, for months I have been trying to obtain a photo of Pia Zadora. I'm a big-time fan of hers and would really enjoy the photo. Would it be possible for you to let me know whom I can contact in order to get a photo of Pia Zadora? Let me check. Let's see, I got a Zadora. I got a Donna Reed, a Betty Furness. Photo of Ty Cobb sliding into second. No P.S. Who put these pictures in?
That's quite an improvement of the little black book.
Isn't it,
pictures,
though?
right? Oh.
Jack Grant, our prop man, did this. I can't even show you the pictures. Here's an article that quotes a man named Jack Casey, who is with the National Marine Fisheries Service, on what to do to avoid sharks. Do you have any idea what you do to avoid sharks?
No, I do not. Do not go in the water.
Well, outside of that, something.
Stay in the cocktail lounge.
Well, that's the way you solve all of your problems. That's the way you avoid autumn. You're taking your car to work. You avoid that by staying in the cocktail lounge. No. Don't swim at night when you're unable to see an approaching shark.
I mean, that would help you. If you could see an approaching shark, that would be of some help. Why, you take a flashlight. Oh, look, a shark.
Well, then, you beat a man swimming in a wetsuit or a surfboard is not good, because that looks like a seal to a shark. Well, how do they know that? How do they know? Do they go to a shark and say, see that man on that surfboard? What's he look like? A seal. How do they know he looks like a seal? That I don't understand at all. Don't attach dead fish to your belt. Well, I knew that was a problem. Okay. That's enough of that. You don't think a spot is too hokey, do you? No. All right. Now, you know about chain letters, don't you?
Right.
Don't get taken in by chain letters. They've been going since, I guess, man could first write, and they go around all the time. Usually it's you're going to get a lot of money, and if you break the chain, it's always General so-and-so died in the Philippines. Yeah. He broke the chain, or his leg fell off or something. It's the same stuff. Anyway, here's one I have not seen before. Kiss someone you love when you get this letter, and make magic. This paper's been sent you for good luck. The original copy's in New England. It's always somewhere. Been around the world 9 times. This luck has been sent to you. You'll receive good luck within 4 days of receiving this letter, provided you kiss someone and send it back out. At the bottom it says, Dalen Fairchild, not believing, threw the letter away. 9 days later, he died. So, I guess you've got to kiss somebody, or you die. Okay, folks? Kiss just for the hell of it. Because you don't want to have bad luck, right? Kiss the person next to you. Go ahead. Come on. Why not? Nobody's got any guts here.
I think I have to go do a commercial.
You want to die? You want to have what happened to Dalen Fairchild?
Oh, no. Not at all.
No. I wonder if it works if you just hold hands. Anyway, if you get a chain letter, first of all, it's illegal. Right. I think all over the United States, the postal authorities, don't fall for it. No. Because if there is any money involved, only the people who start the letter end up with anything. It's like the pyramid clubs of a few years ago. And by the time the letter goes through about 15 or 20 hands, I think you have about 3 billion people involved in it in the world. And so it never works. All righty? Anyway, we will be back. Barbara Walters is here tonight. David Steinberg and the orchestra hopes they're going to get the number in. So we'll take a break and we'll be right back. Hello there. Okay. My first guest I've known for a number of years. You all know her. I'm sure there's nobody in this country who does not know Barbara Walters. She's been called, and I'm going to ask her if she likes this appellation. Is that what they call it? W.C. Fields says that appellation? Called the High Priestess of the Celebrity Interview. And she's consistently listed as one of the most influential women in the country. Would you welcome, please, Miss Barbara Walters.
No, we kissed each other, so we're okay.
That's right, you won't die. Did you ever get a chain letter?
Yes.
Did you ever believe in them at all?
Yes.
Come, are you superstitious?
Yes. Do you find me a wonderful guest, sir?
See, I should learn. You never ask a question that could be answered yes or no. Like you should say, how do you feel about chain letters? Now you have to respond.
I have to tell everybody, though, for why I am here.
Okay.
Okay, I am here because I have been for, 8 years asking Johnny Carson if he would do an interview. And for 8 years, he very sweetly calls me up and says no.
True.
This year, he said yes. We did it 2 days ago.
That's true.
And this is my punishment. I said, I have the feeling that every question, every question that I ask is going to come back. And also, I have learned something that I don't know whether everybody knows, but I will tell you all. He has great legs. I don't think I will tell him how I know.
Yeah, it's nice. Didn't know you felt that way.
I do.
What was the question I asked you? I asked you about chain letters. You know what the first question she asked me on this interview was? We're sitting there, and I said, don't get into two things that are too personal. And you start off and saying, what was your first sexual experience?
I did.
Now, was that a joke? Or
Yeah,
I started to answer
He
it.
did. I thought.
I wanted to be a good interview.
He really did. I wanted to loosen him up.
That'll loosen him up.
Yes.
So I said, what was your first sexual experience? And he started to tell me. He said, you want to hear her name? The day he was 17. And I kept saying, I was kidding. He said, well, and let me tell you. And then I kept, Johnny, I was kidding. I was kidding. He is such a blabbermouth. You know what we hear about cool, aloof? I tell you, the personal stuff. Well, we had to edit the whole thing. Nobody really wants to hear all those
You do
things.
a good interview. You put people at ease, and sometimes that's kind of an edge you have because you get comfortable with somebody, and all of a sudden you start to tell them things that you might not
It's
say.
a wonderful interview that we did with you. It really is.
I don't know because I'm serious.
I promise you.
I was. You don't remember what you said after it's over, and since it is filmed, I don't know how it's going to show.
And also because when you're funny, you're very comfortable. When you open up and you begin to talk about some things about yourself, then you begin to think, and we all do. Did I say that? What did I say? I shouldn't have said that. But it's a lovely interview.
Right.
And it will be on in December on another network.
Another network.
Yes.
Do you remember your first sexual experience? You know that I wouldn't be that tacky to ask you to...
It is next Thursday.
Good. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back here, and we'll talk about a lot of things. We're back. We're talking with Barbara Walters. Something fell over on the bandstand. I mentioned in the introduction, you've been called one of the most influential women of our times, and that's probably true because you can shape people's perceptions of things that are happening in the world by the way you interview people and also of other people. How do you feel about it?
I don't think you ever think, I mean, I read all the time that you are considered so powerful.
Now, you see how you're turning it around right away? Notice the sneaky way, the way she does
And
it.
I'm much more comfortable that way. I mean, it was funny. Didn't you feel funny the other day when I was interviewing you?
Yes, I really
A little
did.
bit, when
I
you
really
used
did.
to kind of being in control?
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Anyway, what was the question I
What
asked
was the
you?
question you asked?
About being influential. Do you ever think of that when you're out there, the impact that you could have on...
You know, when I used to think about it, except you don't get yourself that carried away. In the times when I would be interviewing Sadat and Begin and Arafat, in the course of maybe 2 days, you would interview the three of them, and I used to think, why couldn't all the three of them get together and talk? Because one would give you a message to give the other one, and you'd think, you know, when all is said and done, you're a reporter, you're really not a statesman. And yet, in that sense, look at the power we have, because I can talk to these people who won't talk to each other.
Right.
When you were talking earlier tonight, when you came out about Arafat and so on, and I remembered the first time that I met him and what he was like, and each time you talk to one of them, you really do feel... You're almost convinced by that argument until you then talk to the next one.
Well, all of
In
those
that
people
sense.
have a great deal of personable, I hate that word charisma, but charm, do they not, in situations like that? They're used to dealing
And
with
they
people.
learned over the years. It was fascinating because they all learned how to deal with television. I mean, they practically would pick up the telephone and call you. I think that almost happens too much now. I mean, there are some whom no matter what, you can't seem to get.
Have people tried to call you and say they want you
Yeah, but they're usually the ones who call you are the ones you don't want.
Right.
I mean, I consider myself a great pen pal with Andropov. I write to Andropov every month.
I thought it was just a little... You're kidding.
No, he never writes back, but that, I mean, you want to...
You do write letters?
Yeah. Oh, sure, because you keep hoping that he will do the interview. You write to him and you write to... I shouldn't give it all away, because as I'm doing... Well, what difference does it make?
Why don't you tell him you're 12 years old and you go to school in the
My name is
Midwest?
Samantha, exactly.
You might get an answer.
Yeah. Every time there is a crisis in Central America, I try to get through to Fidel Castro.
So you did interview
I have
Castro.
interviewed him. And I get... This is true. I get a Christmas card every year from Fidel Castro. It comes in March. It really does. I don't know whether it means that it has to go by way of, I don't know, what, Grenada or the postage, but I get he's the only head of state outside of the President of the United States who sends, what, 40,000?
I get something like that.
Card from.
You get a card from the Reagans, eh?
I get a card from the Reagans.
Yeah.
Don't you get a card from the Reagans?
Yes.
Do you get a card? Do you all get a card from the Reagans? Put you on the list?
Yeah. Are you...
And it's nice. It's impressive when you get it.
Are you a competitive person?
Yes, I think so.
Is it important to you to be, say, number one in what you do?
Not as much as it used to be. I mean, I would, if somebody gets the interview before me and I didn't try, I'll be mad at myself. I'll think, why didn't I make that one more phone call? But I don't have the same passion or the same ambition that I had. Really, in the earlier days when we were both working in New York, I have said, I don't want to climb any more mountains. It's time now to kind of enjoy it a little bit. Sitting in your house the other day with that water that you just feel that wave is, well, it is right next to the house. You just think...
Last winter was in the house. Next to the house. It was a friend last winter, yeah.
But then I thought, how nice. You know, when we were sitting outside afterwards and just being able to sit and talk, how nice to have a little time to do this. I don't have enough of it.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have enough of it.
What would you do if you didn't do what you do? You ever thought of saying, all right, I've had enough of this. I think I'll just be Barbara Walters, Citizen of the World, or whatever. Would that make you happy?
To do nothing at all? Well, when I was a little girl, I wanted to be. My father was in show business, and I thought it would be terrific to be a tap dancer. Excuse me.
That's right. You want to
I'm a
keep
news
the image.
person.
You can't
I'm a
do
news
that. If
person.
you write
We're
letters,
not
stand,
supposed
drop
to.
off, and say, hello, you're a It doesn't work if he knows
True
you're a tap
knowledge will
dancer.
be on the telephone in about 2 minutes saying, you know.
You were in the press an awful lot when you were undergoing those contract talks and so forth, and there's always that business about women in journalism trying to reach the same status as men, which you have done, but you're one of the few who's done it. Do you think it's getting better
Oh,
for...
more and more. I mean, there are some really wonderful women now on television. There are some wonderful women now doing everything. I wish that there were more. Let me see. Do I see women behind the camera? As I look here, I see no women. My producer, Beth Polson, is terrific, and she's a woman. Freddie,
we have...
I see no women in the band.
We have women
no
engineers.
Women. Where?
One we're worried about.
There's one.
Does that count at all? Does that count? If you want him to be, he'll be. But if it's not necessary, no. No, it's getting better. That's for sure. On television. But it's slow. Those things happen slow.
But television is no different. I mean, we all think that television we make it a separate place from the rest of the world. You know, when there was the whole suit by Christina Kraft about women being too old, and she was only 37. I found that very depressing. But, you know, in any industry, and in motion pictures, as a woman gets older, it gets more difficult. And it's also true with men. I mean, there are men as they get older in television who, you know, get
Let's explain that a little bit.
Get shut to when they get into their late 50s and early 60s. And
have you always been a cruel person? When did the streak of cruelty hit upon you?
what did we keep saying to him when we did the interview? We kept saying to Johnny, and embarrassed him, so I'll only do it once. We kept saying, he's so cute, and he was so adorable. We kept saying, you're so cute, and he got very kind of...
Well, I mean, you know,
Isn't
cute.
he cute? You are cute.
Gary Coleman's cute, you know.
Not as...
Yeah.
Different way. Different way.
Cutie, it's time for a commercial.
What is it?
You'll be sorry
You
I
better
never
sit down
said
in the
that.
chair. You're actually standing. Us older folk, you know, have to take it easy. We have to take a break already?
Yeah.
The time just flies, doesn't it? Okay, we'll take a break. We'll be back. Of course we will. Director. All right. My next guest is, they say, a man of many talents. And let's hope he displays some of them out here tonight. No, he's a comedian and actor and director. Obviously, he's not going to act or direct for you tonight, but he'll be performing Saturday night in San Diego at the Old Globe Theater. Formerly the Old Globe. In medieval times, it was considered the Old Globe Theater. He's going to be there as part of the San Diego Comedy Festival. Why not? And he's directed a new movie that's just come out all around the country. Is that grammatically correct? That's just come out all around the country? Seems very wordy, doesn't it?
Released?
Just been released around the country. Shorter words would be nicer. If I just said it and brought him out, it would be helpful too. Would you welcome David Steinberg? Or you can be interviewed tonight from either direction.
Oh, this is great. Did you discuss your first sexual experience, or did
I started to say, I started to tell her.
Tell me.
No, I'm not going to tell you. It was a disaster, like most of them are.
Oh, yeah, mine too.
Because I grew up in a very conservative, Midwestern background, and I was not as far advanced as the kids are nowadays.
You think they're better now?
Well, I think they certainly have sexual experiences earlier in life, apparently. I'm not sure that that's good either.
No.
How about you?
Same, conservative, you know.
Yeah.
All I remember was her saying, "You finished?" But,
What's that about that?
but I don't remember any more than that.
All right. What do you want to talk about first? You got a movie you want to talk?
Yes,
Going
Berserk.
Berserk.
John Candy is in it, and all the SCTV guys, Joe
Yeah.
Flaherty, Gene Levy. I think it's very funny, and it should be around the country.
Around the country.
Universal has released it in a sort of whispering campaign. You have to ask your neighbor, did you ever hear of Going Berserk? Is it out? Yes, it's been out for a few weeks.
So you're trying to get, as they say, the word of mouth.
Yeah, I think it's quite funny.
And you're directing this, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Good for you, all right. We talked about once, about going back. You've been married about 10 years?
Actually, 11 years. It's good memory. And this is our anniversary this weekend.
You're kidding?
Yes.
What is the... People always applaud that.
Yes, well...
People always applaud that. It's like when they used to go on quiz shows. I have 19 children. Hey! Big deal.
I think they just applauding...
What is the 11th?
Well, the 11th is about 3 or 4 more than you've had, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
This isn't your night.
No, it's really not.
No, I don't know what the 11th is. What is the 11th, Barbara? You know, is there
Paper, glass,
Tissue paper.
wood?
Tissue paper.
Tissue
something like
paper?
that.
Good. Be a nice gift.
It's paper, isn't it?
But in Hollywood, as you know, this is a tradition. 11 years is legendary
That's
in our
true.
business. We're very happy, Judy and I. And
Yeah. You talked about the first time that you introduced her to your
yes.
family once, which was not a joyous occasion, if I remember.
Well, only because she is Italian, and my family are Russian Orthodox, Jewish Canadians.
Sounds like a good match.
And as, I don't know if you remember, but I told you that Gentiles to my father were people, although intelligent, they sell their children for whiskey.
Yes.
So when you bring home an Italian girl to my family, I mean, it's uphill. I mean,
Right.
you don't actually bring a Gentile home to my family. You bring a cute girl home first.
Just to soften them up.
Let them get ready for it. And see, my father embraced his prejudices. He was cute about his prejudices.
Really?
Yeah. Well, he would stand in the grocery store Christmas Day, and he'd wait for the first fleck of snow to wend its lazy way down to earth, and as it would touch ground, he'd go, "Ah! They got their snow again for Christmas."
They meaning
The Gentile.
community, yeah.
Then, on the other side of the family, we have the Italians, my in-laws, and the Italians, for a living, in my family, buy restaurants and set fire to them.
That's your father's perspective of that.
That's right. So you try and start a marriage and all of this, it ain't easy.
Yeah.
But this is easy for us. We've enjoyed ourselves. This is
And it simmered down, huh?
11 years. Yeah, oh, yeah. Within a year, my wife is a favorite in the family now.
Yeah.
How does he feel about that, your father, about that beautiful little baby girl out there that's half Italian?
Sasha. Sasha, she's the best, isn't she? She's so smart. I write her. She's 9 months old.
Yeah.
Good beauty.
Show business to the hilt. All
Yes.
right.
Oh, yes.
What do you want to talk about? What's going on politically? Got any comments on what's been happening? Some of the news is kind of stark, and it's not, you can't...
Well, some of it is interesting. I like the Grenada is interesting to me. What's interesting is the labeling of it. The president got very nervous about calling this an invasion, and he wanted to call it a rescue mission. So they were going back and forth between Casper Weinberg. Is it an invasion? Is it a rescue mission? Is it a breath mint? Is it a candy mint? You know, it drove me crazy. So I'd say, why don't you have it like 2 mints in one, make it a rescue invasion?
Rescue invasion.
Now, I happen to have been in Grenada.
Really?
I was in Grenada. Yeah, we talked about it. I didn't mention this place. Remember, I was on a yacht?
Yeah, in the Caribbean.
In the Caribbean.
Right.
And I was there, and when I was there, I remember this island. This island it was a sleepy island with a Holiday Inn. And to me, when I heard of this invasion in Grenada, it's not an invasion when the Marines land between the ice bucket at the Holiday Inn and the bongo bar at the Club Med. It's hard for me to get excited about this great victory, having been there. So the labels interest me. Now you've got William Clark replaces James Watt.
Right.
Now, we won't even talk about William Clark in the old days not knowing where Zimbabwe was. I don't either, but I'm not running for office. Now, what's interesting is, in the old days, when you would have an appointee from the president, they would say he's a graduate, let's say Eisenhower administration. They say he's a graduate of Amherst and the Kennedy administration, a graduate of Harvard. Reagan, when he announced Clark, he looked the media straight in the eye and said he's proud to say that William Clark is a third-generation rancher. And the media picked up on this as if it was a credit. So I'm thinking, what is a third-generation rancher? It's a guy who shovels manure. So, to me, in Washington, they're all third-generation ranchers.
To bring it right down to little analogies. Already? My, it is time for a commercial again, but we'll be back. All right. We're talking with David Steinberg, Barbara Walters. We do, I believe. What'd you say, Red?
We have a clip, but I don't think there's time for the number.
Not time for the band number tonight. How about tomorrow, guys?
Now, tomorrow's a bad night, Johnny.
We're very full tomorrow.
For
We
tomorrow.
So,
This could be real trouble if we don't get this in soon.
you gotta be kidding.
They give us one note. No, but one note.
No, you take the whole shooting match.
Okay.
No more of this one note stuff.
We do have a film clip, about a minute of Going Berserk, which was filmed earlier today at the band rehearsal. Does this need any setup?
Probably. I don't know what it
Well, we
would
don't
be.
care then.
No, it's the fat scene. Oh, yes. Well, it's John Candy, and it's out of context. It's just, why don't we look?
Okay, silliness. Here it is.
John
from Going
Candy's very
Berserk.
funny in this.
John Candy.
You're fat. My husband was fat. He's dead now. You must eat like a pig.
Yeah.
Cigarettes will kill you. My husband smoked, you know. He died from smoking too much.
I thought you said he died because he was fat.
He was fat with bad lungs.
He's a funny guy. John is wonderful. He's a funny guy.
These guys are very funny in this movie. I hope people
I
get a
hope it's a
chance
big
to see
hit
it.
for you.
Thank you.
There are a lot of talented people on Second City.
Oh, yes. And this group especially is just wonderful.
They really
You are
know-
in this film?
No, I
He's-
directed.
he is the director.
That's what I wondered. I thought this is the first person I've met with no ego. You didn't show yourself. You directed it.
Yes, that's right.
Running around with megaphone and puttees and all of that
Oh,
type
yes.
of stuff. We just don't have any time left, do we? Hardly.
You can go out playing with the band if you do.
No, the Doc is not going to play any of that.
Please, please, Doc. Please.
I don't suppose you're going to play the closing theme tonight either, are you?
Maybe if Doc doesn't play,
We're
he can-
thinking about it.
Why don't we have to take a break?
I discussed.
Why don't we have Doc tell us about his first sexual experience?
We'll get to that also. We'll be right back. One thing you forgot to mention, Barbara, I think you wanted to mention, the special we did, which will be on the 6th. Are the other people on that show? Did you mention that at all?
No, I didn't.
Because I'm kind of happy to be with them.
It is Carson, Cash, and Cronkite. Johnny, and Walter. And it is December 6th, and I hope you will all tune in.
Uncle Walter will be there also. Yeah. And that's the way it was. Walter actually talked that way in person?
Does Walter talk that way in person?
Walter
That's
talked that way
just
in
the way he
person all the
talks.
time?
That's just you know.
Is this an all legends show? Is that?
We like it. We like to
Did he
think
hear
so.
us talking? Did he
No,
hear
I
us saying
didn't.
that?
I did not. I just
That's-
thought this is a.
You want to hear our
mountain-
introduction?
That's the
Men
way
who
she
caught the public
introduced
eye captured and held the public eye for more than 25 years. Each has set the standards in his own field. They are indeed modern-day legends.
My goodness, a legend.
A
How come I
legend.
couldn't do that
Your
that
own
way?
time.
Legend. Legends come and go. Anyway, thanks. The movie is going berserk around the country. Barbara, thank you. Thank you for coming tonight. I'm humbled by that applause.